Welcome back to Black and Blue Garage. This is season 3. We're working on several projects, and the main project of this season, over the course of the next 2 or 3 years, is this rat rod. You may have seen in a couple of shorts I did yesterday on my adventure that I went and picked up a small tractor, and I picked up some metal, but I also picked up this original 40s Chevy hood, and it kind of fits okay. I got a lot of work to do, and obviously this isn't going to work with the grill that I'm planning on putting on this, because we are planning on putting this Jeep grill. We're planning on putting this Jeep grill in front of this Chevy somewhere, and which means it's going to line up to be about, you know, right here. Now my plan is to build the cab with the frame and the chassis and everything, and then build the grill into the chassis and etc., and then modify the hood to fit those two. So really I just wanted to get this on here and see how it looks, because when you buy antique car parts, there were variances, and you don't know if it really fit. Like, for example, the bigger trucks, Chevy trucks back then, like the commercial vehicles, looked very different from this one. And it looks like this one fits pretty good. The guy that I bought this from is really cool. He's built a rat rod, and it is the rattiest rat rod that I've ever seen. His rat rod is pretty sick, as you can see. Chevy 350, truck bed from an International. The body is a 39, the hood is a 40 series. He's got pieces of chrome. He's got a little like liquor bottle as a reservoir for his radiator. He found like this shot up gas tank and this gas tank fill nozzle that looks like a snake. That's just how he found it in the desert. I really like the air tank that is chopped in half and used as tire wells. Like the kind of stuff, like that's rat rod, taking junk and making it into something, making everything out of nothing. And that's kind of what I do on my show. And so really I've been rat rodding all along. Today's video is not about this. Today's video is about what goes here. I'm planning on buying a 4-speed Atlas for this thing, and I cannot afford it because it's $4,500. I would have $4,500, but that money is set aside for the special side project that we're doing in order to go on a Bleep and Jeep ride. That information is not released yet, and so I'm not going to start that build yet. So today, I have something cool to show you. And that something cool is in this box. I haven't opened it yet, but I'll do that right now. I'd like to start building this rat rod so that it takes some form, and my videos will be a lot more interesting if I start actually building the rat rod itself. And I'm sure you'll agree. But because I don't have money right now to buy a 4-speed Atlas, because they're cost as much as a used truck, you can buy something like this. This is a product made by a guy from TreeCatcher, and there's a couple different companies that make this product, but he was the least expensive, and he has a YouTube video explaining how to put it together. I will link that video in the comments below so that you can go give him 15 minutes worth of watch time. It's this much. This thing weighs probably, well, I forget, he says how much it weighs, but it's nothing. So it doesn't add any weight. You don't have to lug this around, but basically what it is a mock-up Atlas transfer case, as you saw by the title. And what this does for me is I'm going to be able to bolt this to the transmission and figure out how to build a cage around an Atlas transfer case. That way when I do buy one, I'll be sure that it fits. That's pretty cool. He's got his logos on there, and I may have to pop his video on just so that I can see how to put it together.
The majority of you guys buying this don't probably need assembly instructions. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I wanted to go ahead and go over a few things on the design itself and why I built it this way. So probably the easiest thing to do now is just to take your Sharpie and mark
And voila, you have a 2-speed Atlas transfer case. Now I need to figure out a way to simulate a planetary on here, or remember when I'm building my cage that this is going to be 5 inches set to the rear, which I think is going to be what I'll do. I'm going to mount this on there, and I'll be able to see how high and how low and how wide this thing is on the transmission. And then, oh, you need to get out of my way, because this will set about right here, and then I can just pretend that this is 5 inches back, and then I can start building a frame and stuff for this rat rod. So this isn't gonna work. That's a bummer. So TH350 to that's another $200 I gotta spend, or more, to figure out where I can get all that. And that's a bummer, because I was gonna start, if this bolted on there, I was gonna start cutting up the cab and building a frame. That adapter does mount up to a 203 transfer case, and I remember now why I got that from my buddy, because I was gonna make a 203 205 doubler, which by my calculations and my experience would have cost me not much less than buying a 4-speed Atlas. So thought to myself, just buy the 4-speed Atlas and, you know, save time, save money. But now I have to buy an adapter anyway, so might have been the same, but that's all right. The 4-speed Atlas is way lighter than a 205, 203 doubler. So let's move on to the next thing, I guess. I know right about where this transfer case, because it has a center hole, and I know about how far it needs to go from here. I can lay all this on the floor, and I could either start building a skid plate for this, or I can see how well this fits in the cab with a little bit of cutting. And that's kind of exciting, because I've been waiting for this for a while. Brainstorm with me here, okay? The engine oil pan is flat on the ground. The transmission pan is kind of at an angle, facing toward the engine, sloping down toward the engine. And this transfer case would sit about right there and have some gap. If I tilt the transmission down to where that pan is level, then I have more room under the engine pan for up travels and things, or clearance. Let's try that. Okay. Realistically, we'd like to see something like that. And if it's like that, that's more like it. Okay. That right there is with the transmission pan flat, and the engine oil pan is now sloping upward about 5 degrees. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter, because it's a rock crawler and you're going to tip and tilt this engine everywhere and upside down sometimes. But that gets the transmission and the transfer case nice and flat. I'm going to find out how thick the adapter is and add 5 inches for the transfer case. And then we're going to slide the cab up. I'm going to have to cut some space out for the transmission a little bit. Okay. Transfer case is going to have to be mounted underneath where the bench seat was, and there is definitely, if I leave it this tight, there's definitely enough room for it to live under where I'm going to be sitting. This does look like a really good location for this engine and gives me a lot of room. And obviously the body, the firewall, is about touching the bell housing. This engine is really short. I think it was 22 inches, 21 inches without, taking consideration for the coolant on the back. I like there being a space here because it gives me room to put a coolant hose on. So if I trim this out, so I have some space between the transmission and the engine, that's good. And also I'm able to get to the transmission bell housing bolts, also good. I have to sit and think about this. I have to sit and think about this. The engine is pretty much going to have to be in the center, so my idea of shifting it over is out because I've got exhaust on the passenger side, and if that's too close to the airbag, it'll melt airlines and airbag and all that stuff. Plus, I want to get my upper suspension links as close to the cab as possible, if not going right in line with the cab. It's still going to be, like, the cab is still going to be low when the airbags are empty. It's just like there's so much space between the top of the engine and the hood. You got about 6 inches of space there, which, I can use that to move some things around. I can use the real estate with the engine being this low. The cab right now weighs 300 pounds or 290 pounds or whatever we said it was a month ago. What I am worried about is low center of gravity. And because the engine, transmission, and transfer case is going to weigh around 620 pounds, that is what needs to be low in the low center of gravity. Because the cab and the cage weigh about 600 pounds in itself, and then a full fuel tank, an air tank, and a battery is going to be 250 to 300 pounds. If you include all the tools and gear that you take on a trail ride. So with the 1,500 pounds worth of frame and body and engine, 620 of it is the engine. That's like the biggest piece. And so having that low like it is right now isn't a terrible idea, and it solves a couple of issues. I may move it backward or forward, but that's right about where that's going to be. If I set that axle in front of the grill, I'm going to have to carve this up and take out a whole bunch of this right here in order for that high pinion part of the differential housing to live. But if I put the axle behind that, and this is up a little higher, then that's going to be kind of this right here, and I may have to move my AC compressor or run an electric compressor. And by that I mean the AC compressor would be converted to an air compressor. Yeah, I wanted to get this set up today because what I like to do is put everything where I think it should go, and then I dream about it for probably a week or so, and come up with all these ideas and inventions that work, and then I can just come out here and do it. It makes it difficult to do YouTube videos because I got to get videos out every week, and so YouTube doesn't have time for me to design stuff in my head. It is for the most part a design as you go kind of build, and I will get it, and it'll be 100% not perfect. I also need to extend this foot box out like probably 4 inches to give myself room for pedals. Yeah, a lot of tough decisions need to be made. It's not going to be easy because I know that I want a skid plate from the very front of the engine all the way to the tail housing of the Atlas transfer case. The lower link mounts at the belly pan need to be like really close together because the upper links are going to be parallel on the front and the back. So this whole thing right here is, and the transfer case transmission engine, and how the engine fits in the engine bay is like the hardest part of this build. Because once I have that set in place, everything else is a breeze.